Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. This is Kapaya, aka Pops out of GMS Chicago, with another sit down. I'm not quite sure how brief it's going to be because I'm watching this. Like I said, call her lawyer, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, at 4:41 in the morning, and getting ready to do this work. So anyway, what happened is this. This is TOI Live, and I was looking at times of India, okay? And I'm looking at this, and even though, uh, some of these small countries are like straddling fences and this, that, and the other, they kind of letting both people say what they have to say. And up until this point, 5 minutes and 17 seconds into this video was all uh, uh, Western propaganda. United Nations. As a matter of fact, I just run it back so you can see it. You got the United Kingdom, President, United States, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So you got all these people talking all this stuff. You got two people talking this junk. And now here's where the Russian Federation gets a chance to say what it is getting ready to say. And with that being the case, I'm going to show you what it is that he's saying. Okay? Because everybody want to cry foul because of all of the different types of nuclear ammunition. I mean, not nuclear, all the military ammunition that Iran is using. But Iran basically wore their ass out with all they cheap old shit, and to wore them out, it made them spend a lot of their fucking Iron Dome shit that now that they don't have a lot. I think Apostle Paul basically did a video where he was talking about how America's basically asking for help in this fight now because they done used up so much stuff so quickly on this cheap shit that now they're in a position where their protection, the protection that they so-called brokered with the Israelis is now breaking down. Okay, Netanyahu on spot has been hit. So, like I said, let me go on and finish this introduction and go there. This is Kapari, aka Pops out of Chicago. Sending all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakodash, to the apostles and elders of GMS out of New York and elder bishops out of Connecticut. Send double honors because they do rule well for the brethren around the world, pushing the truth uncut, unfiltered. Give me the good, the bad, and the ugly of the scriptures, correctly breaking down the prophecies and the interaction with the people on the planet. Send a hearty shalom for the hopeful elect. I hope this is edifying. I'll try to keep it short. But like I said, I'm haven't gotten past this 5-minute mark. And I sped it up because I wanted to hear what this Russian guy is getting ready to say. So let me let this play, do this, and I'm going to work from that and pull up the scriptures.
With the IAEA. In fact, the subsequent events, and most especially those we've been compelled to observe during the course of the past week and a half, have clearly demonstrated that initially this was not part of the plans for the United States and its allies. They intentionally raised the stakes, fueling hysteria regarding alleged Iranian nuclear weapon plans, which were never supported by IAEA reports, contrary to what we heard today from the U.S. representative. This was done to implement their agenda and beyond. Within this specific context, we wish to emphatically remind all present that the Russian Federation, with the utmost clarity and conviction, unequivocally condemns the recent act of armed aggression perpetrated against the sovereign nation of Iran by the forces of the United States and Israel. This action stands in direct and undeniable violation of the established principles of the United Nations Charter and the fundamental norms of international law. Such actions are unjustifiable, especially by groundless claims regarding Iran's peaceful nuclear program. Should be respected. The United States and Israel should immediately stop military action and not attack facilities in Iran that are subject to safeguards the International Atomic Energy Agency. It is imperative to prevent any further escalation of the current volatile tensions and to ensure that the conflict does not spread across the broader Middle East region. All parties should remain calm and exercise restraint, fulfill their obligations under international law, and effectively ensure the safety of civilians and civilian facilities. The international community should send a clear and unequivocal message opposing the world's regression to the law of the jungle.
Okay, now I'm gonna stop you right there, real quick, and give you a quick little narrative behind it. Okay, because they talking about how the Israelis was bombing Palestine and all this other kind of stuff with no regards and this, that, and other. But now that Iran is starting to cut loose and hitting the Israelis the way the Israelis was hitting Gaza and all this other kind of stuff with no remorse, and then came at them on that same principle and thought that they was going to stay inside the rules. This, that, and the other. Iran is no. And in the first day of this, they killed their sovereign leader that was there, not understanding that his son is more over the top than his daddy ever was. Okay, so you say, okay, first of all, you didn't kill my dad, and you think I'm getting ready to put gloves on and box you fairly? Since you show you don't box fairly, you don't fight fair. You think I'm getting ready to fight fair? So he done cut loose. He saturated them with that stuff, ran through all their so-called missile defense systems and whatnot, and now the gloves off. And you can see this is Russia and China, which is we've been reporting. I've been here in GMS. We've been reporting all the way back to 2011, 12, when they formed the BRICS nation. That Russia and China absolutely said they got Iran's back. Back then, we was talking about this back in, like I said, 12, 13. How Iran is got two big brothers, and two big brothers that are real bullies on the block. Okay, per se, real bullies on the block. You got, and it's funny. You got the smaller one, which isn't actually the smaller one, but considered the smaller one, as in China, and he's like the martial artist of it, because he's got satellites up there that could knock with EMPs designed in them that can knock out all kinds of satellite transmissions and this, that, and other, make them obsolete, while his technology will still work. So he can literally blind your ass. So this is why we was telling you. He said you won't always get a chance to see what's coming in and out. That whole reentry program that you think with the ICBMs can become null and void with China's satellites that's up there. Okay, and they got so much space junk over the top that, like I said, to go up there and call themselves trying to shoot at it, they got so much space junk up there. It can be kind of hard. If you think I'm lying, Google it. Google space junk in the stratospheres of this world, and see how much junk they actually got up there. So let me let this finish playing.
Secondly, the Iran nuclear issue must ultimately return to the track of political and diplomatic resolution. I want to emphasize that the Chinese side strongly condemns any actions that violate international law and the fundamental purposes and principles of the United Nations Charter. The Chinese side strongly condemns this. We strongly urge the United States to immediately change its current course, return to genuine diplomatic negotiations, and unequivocally commit to never again resorting to military force. Engage in genuine and frank discussions with Iran in order to achieve a comprehensive solution that fully aligns with the expectations of the international community. It is important that European nations cease adding fuel to the fire and instead contribute constructively to de-escalating the situation. The proper resolution of the Iranian nuclear issue is vital for the authority and effectiveness of the international non-proliferation system and is crucial for peace and stability in the Middle East. As a permanent member of the Security Council and a participant in the JCPOA, China will continue to uphold an objective and impartial stance, strengthen communication and coordination with all parties, forge a collective force, and champion fairness. These dangerous developments represent an unprecedented escalation that threaten the regional security and international stability. In this context, the targeting of civilians, their terrorization, and the transformation of their residential areas into military objectives constitute a blatant violation of international humanitarian law and represent a serious escalation that jeopardizes civilian lives, the national economy, and the security of society.
Okay, but now you see who this is, Bahrain, right? You see who's saying this. But where was all this outrage and everything at when the Israelis were doing it? Okay, they spoke some. Netanyahu is considered a war criminal, and this that and other. But nobody, but he's been flying around and getting around and coming to the U.S. and this that and other, and ain't nobody scooped him up and took him to the Hague and let him be tried as a war criminal. Okay, nobody scooped him up and did that. Why is that? Okay, so that's about it. I'm gonna use that this information for. Let me get to some scriptures now. Okay, hold on. Let me stop here. Let me go through some of these titles. Look at this. Iran. Let me see what we got. Iran launches missiles at NATO nuclear base in Turkey. Dubai Financial Center bomb, and Dubai, like I said, is one of them ally countries, and this, that, and other. Uh, will burn gas and oil sites. The IRGC is basically letting you know that first of all, our missiles can be aimed at even more crippling targets and things of this nature. Okay, okay. Resisted missile destroy U.S. aircraft. Iran military bombshell. They popped the KC-135. Okay.
This is the penetration power of these flashlights, and this is the penetration power of illegal flashlights.
Okay. I didn't want to necessarily go there. This and is this is one of the airplanes that I got it. I should say I won't say I got it. This is the type of airplane that I got it when I was even in the Air Force. And this that another. This is KC-135. I had KC-135 and B-52s stateside at Castle Air Force Base, and we had a lot of uh, bases over there. Like I said, some wasn't even up and going yet. Qatar, this, that, another. But like Saudi, uh, and things of this nature, was definitely up and going, uh, and so forth and so on, and this, that, and other. So now they done expanded and put their foothold, deeper in the region with F-35s and KC-135s and things of this nature, B-1 bombers and stuff like that that can touch down over there and do what it needs to do. But so now Iran just started going after these types of installations and things like that. And that's why you're getting all the feedback and all the crime now, because of the fact that what they thought it was going to be their way of being able to miss a lot of stuff or not have to deal with a lot of stuff has now become not the case. Uh, they coming after the real things. And this man, this guy sedition, you know, in the world now, pursuant to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, uh, Isaiah the 14th chapter, uh, Revelations the book of Revelations, what's that, 17th or the 18th chapter or so, and this, that, and other. So, things are starting to heat up and actually square off into these scenarios. For real, for real. So, let me get some scriptures here. Let me go get this scripture. Let me see, where do I want to start at? Where do I want to start at? What scripture do I want to start at? Let's see. No, actually, let me go to Second Esdras. Go to Second Esdras 6. Go to Second Esdras. Let me see. Second Esdras. Let me see. Is it 6 and 24? The second Esdras 6 and 24. Let me see. Okay, second Esdras 6 and 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Okay, so these people are starting to square off. You know, uh, 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 the, they over here. You got Middle East countries, which is Western Asia countries and whatnot, starting to condemn, what they see in America do in the process of, okay, calling it not right or whatever the case might be. Donald Trump is starting to put himself into the same category because he's following the orders of the Israelis, not who, and basically, but that's just the figureheads. This is all being pushed and perpetrated by the bankers behind. They say all wars are banker wars. So you got, the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, the Bilderbergs, the DuPonts, and the Gettys in the background saying what the agenda is that they want to have happen, and the funding of the wars are being done through them and by them anyway. Okay, so let me go and get. Let me see. Let me see what this was going to be. Because Second Ezra's 15th chapter is real simple. Let me go get Second Ezra 15th chapter. They say keep it simple as possible. But I like to say keep it simple. Second Ezra is the 15th chapter. Okay. About the 16th verse, 15th verse. I'm sorry, 14th verse. Woe unto the one of them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against the other with swords in their hands. And the modern day swords goes all the way up to nuclear weapons. So these people are starting to square out. And you got Satan squaring up against Satan, because you got Russia declaring that they're backing the Persians, which is basically the Iranians in this scenario, against you got Edomite, Russians, as you know them, declaring that they're backing basically Persians, which is Iran, against other Edomites, Trump and his military over here, and the United Nations and those countries that are hooked in the middle of it. Okay, so woe to them that dwell within them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. See what I'm saying? You got Russia, and you got Russia even rolling down on his own people at the same time, because Russia is rolling down on Ukraine. Okay? So Ukraine was part of Russia. So those people are absolutely of the same bloodlines and this, that, and other. They were part of Russia at one point in time. Okay? For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their king or princes. So whoever the guy is that's in charge of, I can't think of his name right now, right off the top of my head, because it just took a second. He took a back seat now. He done took a back seat to what Iran has got going on and whatnot. But you know, the guy in charge of Ukraine going against Russia is basically he's the king because Putin would be basically the king of Russia, and who I can't think of his name again, but the guy that's in charge of Ukraine right now would be the prince, and that they squaring off against another. Uh, they shall not regard their king or princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Everybody trying to stand in their military power, but that's crazy because Ukraine don't have no military power because all the nukes and things that it had belonged to Russia, so they had to get those up and whatnot. That's why America is over there trying to help them and fund them too. So America is basically Rome 2.0. They done stretched themselves so thin militarily wise, which is why they can't concentrate in one place and deal with a war head on correctly. Okay. Let me go and get this scripture here. Let me see what I'm going to get. Let me see what this is. Okay, verse 14. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee every one into his own land. So these people that's here that are like the so-called Persians and whatnot, they get ready to get up out of here, man. They get ready to get up out of here. The money is starting to dry up, and this, that, and the other, in the process of. So, everybody that got rich off America is getting ready to get up out of here because this stuff is getting ready to hit the fan on a whole different level. You got, uh, Benji was just there to sit down on some things and whatnot that was going on, and how these people, everything leading to the MOTB, and these people and whatnot being part. The ones that want to be part of the system is going to be part of the system, but the ones that don't are going to be getting up out of here, okay? And going back to their homelands all at the same time. Don't nobody want to be here in America. I mean, if you had a place to go, I'd be trying to get the hell up out of here or whatnot. Okay. Okay, verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. Okay, verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes shall not spare children. These people been the Israelis been bombing some of everybody for a long time now, and now that people started, now the outcry starting to come because those people that were being bombed and whatnot, or I should say, people that was watching them bomb all these, the Palestinians and this, that, and other. Y'all want to come against him, and he says, "Oh, okay, well, no holds barred, right? You brought the fight. You brought the fight to me. I didn't bring the fight to you. I wasn't bombing uh, uh, the Israelis. Y'all brought this fight to me. Since y'all brought this fight to me and killed my dad in the process, I'm gonna show you what I'm about. Okay, no honor among thieves. Not a problem. I can definitely live by it, and he's living by it and showing them. This is how you want it. This is how you can get it. Let me see. Let's see what I got here. I'm probably gonna end it here. Let me see. Okay, and this is all still part of the Lord's judgment. Because here it says, Micah 5:15, and I will execute vengeance and anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they that have not heard. This is going to escalate into nuclear war. But Yahweh Shah already said, Yahweh Shah says that uh, uh, what will it be if it's already kindled? So this is the kindling. This is the fire that's going to be already on the earth when he shows up. So these people got this coming and don't realize that this is actually leaning toward. So those so-called bankers that think that they getting their will done, they actually doing the hands the heart of the king is in the Lord's hand, and he'll turn it. And he would turn it any which way he will. These people think that they get the chance to do what they want to do, but that's not. They actually falling right into what these scriptures say is going to be happening in the last days. So I hope that that's edifying for you to understand and see that, like I said, all this destructive stuff is all part of the Lord's will. He's a man of war. So there's going to be war and rumors of war going on. Okay, so you got wars now. It ain't rumors no more. Yahweh Shah said there'd be wars and rumors of wars. Well, the wars are not rumors now. The wars are actually the people fighting. Okay, and it ain't clanging of swords and whatnot like the scripture says. It's a fuel of fire. These are missiles that are pulling us off now. So this is where we at. So I hope that that's edifying. I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Like I said, for the hopeful elect, it's an exhilarating time to be alive. You see that the prophecies that's in these scriptures are actually jumping out of the pages and into fucking national and international news now. So, how they go say, y'all been talking about this forever and it ain't never happened. It's happening. So with that, a hearty shalom for the hopeful elect and a Bible ball to the rest of the world.